Control your effort. Effort is the only thing that you can control. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Manifesting Stardom. I'm your boy Jamai, and this is my journey to being the biggest star in the world. And as you know, I talk to y'all about the things that I'm going through, the things that I'm studying in my Bible, and the things that's keeping me on track. And usually the things I'm struggling with, because the scriptures that I'm giving y'all and the words that I'm giving y'all are what I'm chewing on and meditating on to kind of keep my focus. And so really, we need to control our effort. We need to put all of our energy in what our output is, because that is the only thing that we truly have complete power over. We don't have power over results. We don't have power over who's going to like our stuff, who's going to promote us, who's going to support us, who's going to listen to our music, who's going to invest in us. The only thing we have control over is our output, is our effort. We can control whether we give 100% or 5 or 10%. And so because that is the only thing that we can control, that is our only responsibility. If that's our only responsibility, then we don't need to be worried or focused about anything else. And so I got 3 points with some scriptures to support it, but I feel like for me, because I'm so analytical, because I'm always trying to figure out what it is that I'm missing, where I could do better, how this could work, whatever, which is a good thing. But the truth of the matter is, my focus has been, or I'm learning to make my focus, if I could stretch my bandwidth to be more productive, to be more faith driven, to be more focused, and look at my weak areas and just work on those things, everything else will fall into place. You know what I'm saying? You can't control how people will respond or which person will respond and how they respond, but you can control your effort. And so that goes into the notion of, like, people say quality over quantity, but a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of successful people say that you have to put quantity before quality, because it takes you to do something so many times before it becomes a certain level of quality to attract the audience or the client or the customer or the vibe that you want. And so that is one thing that we really need to hone in on, and we really need to focus on. I've always told people that the gym is the main reason that I'm more successful in my physique and in my body, is because at some point I knew that the only thing that I could really control the results of was my physical physique. Going to the gym is the only thing that you get 100% return on whatever you put in. There are no variables to the response to your discipline in the gym, to your response to your discipline in your physique and in your diet. There are no variables. You can make financial investments. You can release music. You can publish a book. You can write a screenwriter. You can write a script. You can direct a movie. None of that will determine the return on your investment. There's only one thing that will give you 100% back on your return, guarantee. It's no questions about it, and that is the work that you put in the gym. And so for me, for so long, doing this for so long, going through so many disappointments and so many failures and so many opportunities and doors that didn't open for me and things that just didn't happen, and just so many things that I've been disappointed in pursuing my career, I knew that if I get in that gym, my body will reflect it. And so whenever I was unsure or uncertain, I put my energy into the gym, because I knew that was something that I could depend on. This career, this music industry, you can't depend on it loving you back. You can't depend on your investments giving you back what you put in. You can depend on getting right in the gym. You can depend on those results building your confidence and helping you feel better about yourself, and physically seeing the success and the return on your investment if you put the work in. It's not a doubt. It's no doubt about it. And so the first point that I have is focus on what you can control. You're stressing over outcomes you don't control and ignoring the one thing that actually moves the needle: your effort. Your effort is the only thing that moves the needle. I read a quote the other day that said, "Success should not be determined by the outcome. Success should be determined by the effort." In other words, a successful day for me should not be whether I booked a telegram, I booked a show, I booked this, I booked that. A successful day for me should be that I reach out to the amount of leads that I said I would, that I practice, that I rehearse, that I do the things that I can control to maximize my opportunities. Not did somebody pay me today? Not did the booking go through today? No, because I can't control that. And it's nothing I could do to control whether somebody pays their deposit, whether somebody reaches out and oh, it's my girl birthday tomorrow and I need you to come and I need you to sing, and I'm going. I can't control that variable. But what I can control is me posting content. I can control me practicing. I can control me honing my craft, working on doing research on sales and marketing, doing research on what I can do to better my craft and my gift. I can control that variable. I cannot control when a client is going to come, when they're going to book, when they're going to pay. I can't control that. Even if you're doing an ad or you promoting on social media, you paying ads, you can't control when that person or if a person will respond to you or will reach back out to you. You can't control that. What you can control is your effort, the amount of effort that you put in, the level of intensity and passion that you use when you doing what you're doing. And so you can control what I have here is you can control when the breakthrough comes, who books you, when the money hits, like all I just said, and I had it already written down, but you just can't control that. But what you can control is how many people you reach out to, whether you post today, whether you improve your craft. Those are the things that you can control. And when those opportunities come, you are more than able to maximize the potential of it going good for you. And the scripture for that is Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Tomorrow will worry about itself. God tells us in his word that you need to live in the present and you need to do what you know you need to do today. The old people say, keep your head where your feet are. Be present in a moment and do the work today. Don't try to figure out all the variables tomorrow, because you can't control the variables of tomorrow. But what you can control is what you're doing right now, because tomorrow doesn't exist. Yesterday don't exist. The only thing that actually exists is the now. Maybe the reason you feel stuck isn't because nothing is happening. Maybe it's because you've been trying to control the results instead of mastering your effort. Stop trying to control the results. Try to master your effort. The lever of the effort is the only thing you can control. That and how you respond to things. But that goes into your effort. You can only control your effort. And so the next point is, effort is the seed. The results are the harvest. So when you plant something, you don't get to say when and how it grows. You don't get to determine how much rain it gets, how sunny it is, if it's going to be sunny today, if it's going to be gloomy today, if it's going to be windy today. You don't get to determine the variables or the environment that the seed grows in. You don't get to determine that. Your job is to plant the seed. You don't know if it's going to happen. If you don't know if it's going to plant on this day or that day. But your job is to plant the seed, because we know that if you don't plant the seed, it will never harvest. So our job is to just plant the seeds. That's our only job, is to plant the seed. You don't plant a seed and dig it up the next day to check if it's working. Your effort requires faith. So every DM, every post, every rehearsal, every workout, it's all planning. Every practice, every scale, every time you write, every time you do research, every time you research it on YouTube, every time you talk to the chat GBT about where you can get better, every time you are manifesting and you're speaking, that is you planting the seed. And the scripture for that is Galatians 6:9. I feel like I tell y'all this scripture every episode. But be not weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. That's what I just said in yesterday's episode. It may not just be, the season may not be due yet. The season just may not be due yet. You know what I mean? Like in well doing, you'll reap if you faint not. That means if you keep going, you will get a return on your investment if you don't stop. If you faint not, if you don't give up, if you don't stop. That's what that means. So Galatians 6:9, don't be weary. Just do the work. Just do the work. And that is why it's so important for you to know what your purpose is, because when you know what your purpose is, that internal centering is what keeps you going. I know I'm an artist. I know I'm a singer. I know I'm the biggest star in the world. So whenever life brings me all these different things that tells me the opposite, my inner compass, my soul lets me know that, well, if you weren't an artist, you wouldn't be alive. So because you're alive, you have no choice but to create and be an artist, because that's what you were born to do. So if it's something you just like, if it's something you just doing to get money, if it's something you're just doing to because everybody else is doing it, you'll be miserable, because life is going to bring you every obstacle possible for you to have a valid reason not to continue to pursue it. But I'm as much of an artist as I am a black man. There's nothing I can do to change it. It's nothing anybody could do to no longer make me be a black man, to make me be African American. There's nothing you could do. No matter where I go, no matter what job I take, no matter what role I take on, there's nothing I can do to not be a black man. That's how much of an artist I am. It's nothing I could do. So me being a African American man shows externally and is validated through everyone externally. But me being an artist is internal. And I don't have the world's validation to tell me that. But that it is just as practical, just as absolute as my race. You know what I'm saying? And my gender. So at the end of the day, you got to know what it is that's your purpose to do, so that you can withstand all of the apprehension, all of the pushback that you'll receive in your pursuit. And you got to plant that thing. If you know that you're a planner, if you know that your job is to plant, if you know that your job is to till the land, then you should be tilling the land. A farmer doesn't say, "Oh, I must not be a farmer because the crops ain't harvest yet." No, a farmer continues to do his work, and so that's what we got to do. You can only control your effort every day, and if you control your effort every day, you're already winning, even before the world catches on. That's why when I tell y'all every single day, welcome to my journey of being the biggest star in the world, that's because I'm already the biggest star in the world, bro. I'm already the biggest star in the world. I don't be feeling like it. I don't be seeing the results of it. I know that I'll be looking crazy or sounding crazy, but I know internally what God said about me. I know what I was born to do. And so I'm going to always speak that, because that is the truth. And so, the last thing is consistent effort builds identity. Effort isn't just about results. It's about who you become. You don't become a star when the world sees you. You become a star in daily effort nobody sees. That's where confidence comes from. It comes from consistently putting the effort in. That's where certainty comes from. I'll never forget, and I said this before in an episode, Michael Jordan, they asked Michael Jordan, is he ever nervous? He said, I'm never nervous because everything I'm doing on the court, I've done 1,000 times already before, maybe even that same day. And I said this before, it sounds like a stupid example, but if somebody asked you to count to 5, you wouldn't be nervous. You wouldn't be unsure. You wouldn't be insecure about it because you know how to count from 1 to 5. You've done it plenty of times. You do it all the time. You've learned that years ago. But that is the level of confidence that you will have in your work and in your purpose and in your art if you if you hold your craft to that level. If you build that level of professionalism, that level of mastery, that level of precision, and you only can build it by being at that piano every day, by being in front of that camera every day, by posting every day, by dancing every day, by singing every day, by songwriting every day, by practicing your guitar every day. You will only get there through your level of effort and your level of consistency. I told y'all before, Alex Hormozy said he don't count hours, he count how many hundreds of hours. Don't count how many hours you practice. How many hundreds of hours have you practiced? Only 100 hours? How many hours, hundreds of hours have you practiced? And the scripture for that is Colossians 3:23. Excuse me. This early morning got me super stuffy. Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord. If I can control my effort every day, then I'm already winning. Like I said, I'm already winning. I'm already winning. I've been acting like nothing is happening, but maybe everything is happening underground. We have to stay consistent. We have to truly become who it is that we know. I read a book by I can't remember, but it's this Asian author, this Asian lady, and she worked in Philadelphia, and she has a book called Grit. Grit, Grit. And she did a TED Talk. I can't think of her name, but if you ever check out the book, read the book Grit. It is such a good book. And one of the things she talks about is how so many people that are successful are looked at, or so many people pursuing success are looked at as foolish. We're looked at as like we're putting energy in something up until it comes to pass for us. And she said the reason, and it changed my whole identity or my whole feeling about the uneasiness that I feel of being so obsessive about my work, because a lot of times I don't come across people that are as obsessive, as proactive, as diligent, as ambitious. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but it's a very lonely space, the way that I pursue my dreams in an aggressive manner that I do, that a lot of people can't relate to it. And so there becomes a sense of loneliness with that, and a sense of maybe something is wrong with me, because you can't really find a lot of people that work the way that I do. And so she gave such a great explanation. She was saying, like, a lot of what artists that are great do, it is not because we want fame and money. Of course, that is a byproduct of it. Of course, that's a part of the dream, but we do it because it's our identity. And that freed me so much, because it gave me an explanation to be comfortable with and to embrace about myself, to say that the reason that I have to practice piano and guitar and dance every day and sing every day is because it's a part of my identity. It validated me, it affirmed me, because on the surface, someone looking outside, and even me sometimes, is like, that's not paying no bills right now. I'm not good enough as a piano player to really book gigs, to, like, I'm not really good enough as of this, and the songwriting's not really paying my bills right now, and I'm getting older. But if it's a part of my identity, I'm not doing it to pay my bills. If it's a part of my identity, I'm not singing to be famous. I'm not singing to get people's approval. I'm not recording to get people's approval or to make money. I'm doing it because it's my identity. And because it's my identity, I choose to perfect the craft. And regardless of the return on it, I'm doing it because that's who I am. If God created me to be a creator and an artist, I'm not an artist because of what it pays and what it doesn't pay, or what opportunities it afford me or doesn't afford me. I'm an artist because that's what God created me to be. And so when I read that in a book, it really, really freed me, because a lot of times, especially as an analytical person, especially living in society, especially being a grown man, as looked at as being able to be a provider and all those different things, sometimes you only allow yourself to partake in the things that has a direct benefit, that is tangible, substantial, in the moment or immediately. But if something is your identity, perhaps the return on your investment far exceeds the tangible, and certainly I'm expecting, I'm attracting financial wealth and influence and fame. I'm attracting all of that. But that is a byproduct of my identity. I feel like I could be a great lawyer. I feel like I could be a great movie director, or a great storyteller. I feel like I could be a great teacher. I feel like I could be a great minister or preacher. But those are not my identity. But I have those skills. I have the administrative skills. I have the intellectual skills. I have the charismatic, compassionate skills to be in ministry. All those different things, right? But what I was created to do was be an artist. I'm created to be an artist and change the world through my influence, my giving, and my music and my art. So whether people are liking me today, reposting my stories, reposting my content, commenting on my videos today, streaming my music today, that is not the end all be all of why I do what I do. I do what I do because that's who I am. And so reading that book really, really affirmed me, and I hope that it helps you today to understand that, like, you got to know what it is that your purpose to do, because you won't always have the external validation to continue to keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So get to it, man. Get to it. Like, maybe you don't need to figure everything out right now. Maybe, you don't get the results today, but all you need to do is to control your effort. If you control your effort, it will change your life internally and externally. So let's get to work, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.